A few years ago, I took a trip in my Honda Clarity, and I tried to use public chargers to make it all the way. 12.8 miles to go before we run out of electricity. You want to talk about range anxiety, get yourself a plug-in hybrid. And we failed, miserably. No sweat though, because the Honda Clarity is a plug-in hybrid, so I could of course use gas. But what if you've got a full EV? Welcome to the Plugshare Challenge, West Virginia edition.
Hey! Smash the like button!
Thank you.
This video will address the following topics concerning EVs. How long does it take to charge? What happens if the charger doesn't work? How much does it really cost to drive? I bet you'll have to sit at a charger for your whole trip. And what happens if you don't have enough range to get there? Sound interesting? Stick around. Here's the official rules. Start at the northernmost or southernmost inhabited point in the state and drive to the opposite point. Or the easternmost and drive to the westernmost, whichever is a longer distance. West Virginia is north to south, so is California. Montana would be east to west, for example. You can't leave the state to charge. If you're on a direct route and it takes you out of the state and back into the state, that's acceptable. Just can't charge out of the state. Charge a maximum of 30 minutes at each charger, and no DC fast charging. Why is the Plugshare Challenge important? It shows where chargers are needed. My state has one CCS DC fast charger on Plugshare, and that's not going to cut it. So basically everyone with a non-Tesla has to be able to use level 2 infrastructure to make a trip. And even though I have a Tesla, I can still take the challenge. Does West Virginia pass? Let's find out. My north to south is Bluefield, West Virginia. So we're going to drive to Bluefield on the Tesla network just to show how simple and easy and hassle-free and worry-free it is. And then we're going for the Plugshare Challenge, all the way from Bluefield back to Morgantown, and let's find out if we can make it home. I need directions to Bluefield, West Virginia. Is a Supercharger. That's a bug. Oh, you got it. You landed down there. Weston has a Supercharger. We're going to go there and check it out, and we're Plugshare all the way home. We'll see what happens. Let's get on the road. Nerd data. 73 degrees. We have 91% battery. It says 294 miles of range. Bluefield is 218 miles away. All right, so there's a rest area right there. We just passed it. And it's halfway between Morgantown and Weston, where the Supercharger is. It's kind of all north central West Virginia would need if we could just put a 50 kilowatt in right there. Now, 50 kilowatts is not going to get you somewhere in some insane amount of time, but what it will do is make West Virginia navigable through this corridor. And I'm pretty sure that if we just put 50 kilowatts at every rest area, it wouldn't be the best trip through West Virginia, but no EV would be stranded. Just a thought. If you think all rest areas in every state should have at least one charger, smash the like button. If you think one isn't enough, smash that bell. All right, so we made it to Weston. We're right near the exit. We're doing 67 miles an hour. We have 232 miles, 72% right now. And we're gonna go and plug in, but not to get a whole bunch of range, but just a bathroom break. Since we have it, we're gonna plug into it. We're gonna choose to take our bathroom break at a Supercharger. So a little minuscule amount of planning is all you really need to do.
Do you need to prepare the car for supercharging?
No, you know what? Let's not. We're not going to prepare it. That's a really good point. Let's not prepare it for supercharging just because not everybody's going to do that. This is the best supercharger in West Virginia as far as location. It is in the middle of the state and it's right off the interstate. I mean, we are there. We're 2 lights and we're there. All right, let's charge. goes. See, next time, navigate to Supercharger. Battery will precondition for faster charging. We're getting 43 kilowatts. We have 233 miles, 72%. Looks like 3 kilowatt hours is about what we ended up with. Now we're at 76%, and now we're back on the road. Navigate to Bluefield, West Virginia. Back on the road, headed for Bluefield. 161 miles left, 241 miles of range. We're at 74%. So that was it. A little stop. Pretty darn busy here at the old Sheetz in Beckley. It's actually pronounced Beckley. Let's not add any extra confusion.
Keep going straight according to the...
Oh, it's right here. I can see it.
Oh, okay.
Got a couple open. Ice, ice, baby. Dun 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 dun. Very iced.
How would they feel if we put our electric car where their gas pump was?
All right, just park at the pump. Let's see where we ramp up to. It doesn't look like, oh, here we go, 40, 50, 60. We're at a 150. Very nice. 110 miles, 34%. All right, well, we made it to the Max Ice Supercharger, and just gonna do a bathroom stop here. Don't hit my car, please. Oh, you're gonna hit you. So now it's 2 o'clock. We've navigated to the Princeton Supercharger. There is no Supercharger in Bluefield, so we'll do our last charge on the Tsla network in Princeton. Let's get going. And we're pulling out with 61% battery, 199 miles of range. We were not here very long, and I'm glad because it's busy. Exact change, cars only, 75 cents. I think I have a $1 bill in here.
That's not exact change. So you have to go over here.
Oh, all right. Got it. Hello?
Hello.
Thank you. Tamarack Travel Plaza. No EV charging. 5 1/4. All right. My man. What is that place everybody's in line? Was that a Starbucks or something? For as many people parked here, I ain't gonna complain about 140. 2:49 p.m. High usage station, charging limit set at 80%, adjust if needed, 49%. So this is our last supercharge. We have 5 minutes before we start getting idle fees. No, unplug.
80.
Oh, I bumped it. So we got to 80, which is 259 miles, and it's not enough to make it round trip. So we will have to do some charging, and the Plugshare challenge starts now. So Plugshare challenge, here's how it works. 30 minutes is the maximum amount of time we're allowed to spend. If you have to spend more than that, it doesn't make any sense. We're gonna try to make it back to Morgantown on all public infrastructure with the Plugshare app. First destination, the Bluefield Inn in Bluefield, West Virginia. Okay, so we made it to the Bluefield Inn, but the area you need to go into to get to the charger, it says customers only, and we are not customers. And since Bluefield was our turnaround spot, we just decided we don't need to charge here. Let's move on to our next address. Next destination.
It's gonna be 615 North Eisenhower Drive in Beckley.
Would you have gone inside to charge? Let me know down in the comments. Navigate to 615 North Eisenhower Drive, Beckley. 51 miles, 242 miles of range. Time to get started. Destination's on the left. So now we're back in Beckley looking for some level 2 charging. Guess we can enter here. There's an EV6 over here, plugged in. And
Is that the only one?
it looks like it's the only one. Mitsubishi dealership in use. Kia EV6. You can tell that it's not fully charged, and we're going to try Lewis Nissan instead, which is 3 miles away. We're going to try it. 0 for 2. So far, Bluefield was a no-go. Mitsubishi dealership, no-go.
So he said the one directly off of Dunn Street is broken.
It definitely looks extremely broken. All right, there's another one on the wall way down here. It does not seem to have any power to it. So that's probably...
There's a third one.
All right.
Keep driving around the building.
There's a third one, huh? Oh, and it's got power and everything. I think we may have done it. That's ready. That's ready. I put it in there. Oh, wall kicked on. Car kicked on. Okay, we're done charging here. We stopped at 30. It was like 31 minutes because we were still walking across the street. We now have 188 miles, 58%. It is 5:42 p.m. Let's get on the road.
I haven't had an Olive Garden salad in like 6 years.
Connie wanted a salad. She's happy. There's Olive Garden.
Turn right onto Robert Seabird Drive.
Have a great day. If we learn nothing else from this trip, we will have learned that this is one of the most beautiful stretches of highway I've ever been on. The mountains are gigantic. It's almost impossible to communicate the way it looks on camera, but we're just in a gigantic cavern of mountains and trees with nothing else on either side. No telephone poles, nothing. It's just beauty. It's a really nice experience.
Take the Interstate 64 West ramp on the right.
What is this guy doing?
Looked at me like he just had no idea I was there. Looks like he was trying to get to that gas station pretty bad. Looks like there's a fair going on.
Isn't it this parking garage?
Yeah.
Turn in.
The parking garage had an attendant at the entrance because of the fare asking for $10 for parking. I didn't catch it on camera, but I didn't want to pay $10 to charge slowly for 30 minutes. It looks like they're taking money.
Now your destination is on the left.
Well, there's a fare, and we're not doing it. So, next. Straight ran the red light. You see that? Okay. That was useless.
So that's 3 out of 4.
We're 1 for 4.
Yeah.
Basically failed the challenge at this point. It's up to you. You want to do it just to...
In 1
wanna just do
mile,
Yeah, I would rather go
stay
toward
on
home
Interstate
than go
77
to
north toward
Parkersburg and then toward home on Route 50 after dark.
Alright. Yeah, there's no reason. I mean, Route 50 is barren anyway. There's no chargers, right? Our plan was to go from Charleston to Parkersburg to get one last charge in to make it home, because it was the only route with public charging. But it was pretty far out of the way, and since we had already failed, we started to reconsider our plan.
Right.
It says we need to spend 20 minutes at the Charleston Supercharger.
Well, let's stop there then.
Yeah. I think we just drove past it.
1,000 feet. Keep
I think it was literally directly underneath of us. Since we had already passed the Charleston Supercharger, we decided to see if we could just make it to the next Supercharger in Weston instead.
30.
I got it. Weston, West Virginia Supercharger. Charging needed to reach destination, it says. If we've got 40% battery, 129 miles, and it's only 95 miles away, I know what we can do. We're going to set the cruise at 60. We're definitely going to find out. Yeah, I think we're going to make it.
Drive Little East on Interstate 79.
Stay below 65 miles per hour to reach destination. It says we're going to make it to Weston Supercharger with 2%.
Oh, that's not good.
All right, so 55, windows down. We'll go a few more miles and we'll try it again. I've turned off autopilot. Everything else, I'm just 100% my own driving. What this car doesn't understand is that I used to own a Honda Clarity, and Connie just said she's used to going real slow, trying to save range. Because of that car, it should be called the Honda Range Anxiety, because it has just enough range to make you think you can get a long trip in, but you definitely can't. I've done it so many times. I got the climate control off, the music is off, autopilot is off. We're in conservation mode. In 20 miles, we have drastically changed our predicted range. So you do 20 miles of really, really conservative driving, and all of a sudden, you've got a lot more left. We were supposed to charge in Charleston. We didn't charge at all. We had to change our route from Parkersburg because we couldn't do it on the public infrastructure. Supercharging it is. We've got 19 miles to go, 52 miles of range. I've now resumed autopilot. I'm up to 65 miles an hour. I'm definitely going to make it. Just a little bit of conservative driving goes a long way in one of these things. So just because it says you can't make it doesn't mean you can't change the way you're driving so you will make it. We would not be in this place at all if it wasn't for me choosing not to take a charging stop that it told me I needed to take. So remember that. Beautiful sunset right now. Just starting to go over the edge of the mountains, and we're on our way down the hill.
Now turn left onto Berlin Road.
Oh, there's one Tesla at the Supercharger.
I'm so glad we're here.
We made it.
I'm so glad.
30 miles of range, 9% battery. Am I going to make it? I'm going to be between
No.
the navigational beacons?
No.
Well, it's because I'm so good at it. My best skill. I took driver's ed. I didn't take reverser's ed. Should have.
It's all part of driving.
I guess. If at first you don't succeed, Austin Powers it, baby. All right. That's that. We're going for nerd data. It's so much fun. There it goes. And 20 kilowatts, 50 kilowatts, 80 kilowatts, 100, 134. So there we go. 15 minutes to continue trip.
All the way to home.
All the way to home. 15 minutes. We charged for long enough for us to sit and eat and get 2 hot dogs each at Sheetz. That's all we did. And now we've got 177 miles, 54%, which we're 60 miles from home. So, yeah, we've got enough. Let's get back on the road. So if you didn't get them during the video, let's go over all those burning questions I promised the answers to at the beginning. Also, if you made it this far, please subscribe. If you've got reliable charging and are willing to stop at chargers to do bathroom breaks, you shouldn't have to charge more than 15 to 20 minutes at a time in a modern EV. You keep going. Find another one close by. We did this in Beckley. It's also why you should stop in populated areas to charge if you plan on using a public charger. And for city planners, it's also why one isn't enough. $28.96 for almost exactly 500 miles. That's 6 cents per mile. Out of 11 and a half hours of travel, just 1 hour and 22 minutes was used to charge. And finally, you can overcome a lack of range by driving more efficiently. We did that between Charleston and Weston for 20 miles.
Here it is, we made it home. 34% battery with 112 miles of range. It was 10 after 10, so we didn't slouch on the trip home.
So, what did you learn? Do you think your state can pass the Plugshare challenge?
Smash the like button.
Thank you.
And which state should I do next? Let me know down in the comments below.